Hey everybody, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I am Bill, and just published a YouTube video yesterday with Julia and myself flying to Flabob, which is an airport not very far away. It's about 30 miles now that I'm looking at ForeFlight here. And we did a little restaurant review of the airport cafe, and I was editing the video and wanted to just fly over there in the sim because it's a really fun flight. It's one of the few local flights that I keep going back to because it's long enough to be a fun flight. It's not short like Long Beach or Fullerton. It's not so long that you're just kind of cruising over the same area over and over again. So it's a great distance, but also it's a very challenging quick flight. So we've got a delta transition through Riverside. We've got a ridiculous pattern at Flabob, very non-standard. And of course the departure out of John Wayne is always fun. So I keep coming back to this flight, even in the real world, because it is a great example and an easy to do without committing too much time in the sim flight on PilotEdge, because you get to utilize a lot of the different things that make flying in SoCal challenging and fun with the different airspaces and a standard, non-standard departure out of John Wayne and a non-standard arrival into Flabob. So very fun, and I'm going to start it on the ground here before we've picked up our clearance, which I generally kind of breeze right through. How do you compare the Aero to the F-33 with the Rep Pack and X-Plane 11? I prefer this plane. The X-Plane F-33 was really pretty good, actually. There's a few too many bugs in that plane, though, that I never really... I flew it a lot, but I just did not prefer... I didn't prefer that plane. Okay. Feel like something's up here. It's doing some familiar things. So let's make sure we're connected here. 3,128.1, and we're gonna squawk there. So that's my pre-clearance stuff. Radios seem kind of weird, but let's try it. Showing clearance, Cherokee 83364, information Tango, flight following Flabob at 3000, El Toro departure.
Is that Cherokee for 83364?
Yeah, affirmative. Papa 28 Romeo Slant Golf Cherokee 83364.
Sounds more like a Piper Arrow, Bill.
They're all Cherokees. If I say Arrow...
Cherokee 83364. On departure, fly heading 080. Maintain VFR out of below 3000 until advised. Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 4665.
4665. On departure, that's left turn 080, out of below 3000. Departures on 281, squawking 4665, arrow key 3364.
Cherokee 83364, you're back correct.
Good evening.
How are you, buddy?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good.
Is it quiet down here right now?
It is for the moment.
Let's see.
A little busy earlier, though.
Yeah, it is kind of quiet. Nice. I'll make it busy for you.
Good evening, St. Louis Tower, Skyhawk 106
Okay,
November
so let's
Kilo,
go to
2510 miles
20.8.
southeast of the field, inbound with uniform full stop.
It's Steve. It's
Back 106
fantastic,
Kilo,
man.
St. Louis Tower. Make sure runway 29 airport 3 mile final.
Straight in for 29er,
it's
3
more
mile final, 6
expensive,
per kilo.
but I don't know anyone that's regretted getting this plane. It's a blast. It really is super fun. Johnny Ground, Cherokee 83364 at Jay's Taxi to Tower run up with Tango.
Cherokee 83364, verify squawk and mode C.
We'll get the squawk 364.
64, thanks. And once you do, you can text Mitchell run up via Bravo.
If you run up via Bravo, Cherokee 83364. Okay. All right. It's really, it feels premium, and I think that's what is so fun about it, is that the texture artist for JustFlight is amazing. I talked to the JustFlight rep, like years ago now, probably 3 years ago now at Flight Sim Expo. And I had spent a lot of time in X-Plane with this plane. And so I've spent like almost $90 on this plane total when you count this and X-Plane. And I was just telling him how much I enjoyed the Arrow, and he was like, yeah, our texture guy is freaking insane. He showed me some renders of whatever the jet that they were working on before. I can't remember what it was, but it hadn't released yet, and he was showing me some of the interior textures that they were working on, and it feels lived in, it feels real. And when you have a sim environment like Microsoft Flight Sim that in certain circumstances looks and feels so real, to have these like plasticky, glossy feeling plane models, to me takes some of the immersion out of it. Whereas this plane with the worn down paint and the grass and the carpet and everything, stained carpet, adds back that immersion and realism that matches what you're looking at. There's still kind of a lack of dirt and grit to it, but it does look worn. This is a plane that looks like it wants to be dirty and smudgy. The fact that, and I think I may even have the windshield textures off, the glass textures off now that I'm saying that, because I think they do have it dirtied up. We can take a look at that. Come on. It does get stuck if you get the nose gear twisted around. There it goes.
Approaching runway 02.
Not yet.
3 mile final for 29.
All right, let's check.
106 number kilo, runway 29er, clear to land.
Clear to land, 29er, 106 number kilo.
Cabin door, oil door, coolant door already. Where is that? I feel like it's gotta. Is there another page or something? I think there is a setting somewhere, but I don't know where it is anymore. Okay. Anyway, so let's do control check. Good. If you have the Cherokee, I would say get the turbo arrow instead of the regular arrow, just to have that little extra gap in performance. Arrows are pigs, and the turbo one at least gives you the speed up high. Okay, so I think we're all good there. All good on the run-up situation. German Tower, Cherokee 83364, continue.
Runway 20 right taxi, Bravo Kilo.
Bravo Kilo 20 right, Cherokee 83364.
One three Whiskey Connect, SoCal approach 135.4.
We rolling.
SoCal approach low TVM 13 Whiskey 13,000 with Alpha.
13 Whiskey, SoCal approach to maintain 8,000.
Yeah, the turbo one's cool, and you have to be mindful of the boost, over boosting it, which is kind of a fun little added challenge to it. I haven't really seen any shock cooling simulation, so I don't know if that really matters too much, but it will for sure blow the engine if you overboost it, which is cool. You do have to monitor that manifold pressure.
Tower Sky was 46 cars 20 now, hotel short of 20 left.
Sky 46.
But yeah, the speed up high
right now for the ramp onto the ground.
Pretty nice.
Roger, crest 20
Gives it
left.
a little bit more usability.
Crest 20 left on the hotel, monitor ground, Sky 46.
German Tower, Cherokee 83364, holding short 20 right at Kilo.
83364, German Tower, Robert 20 right, Kilo, clear for takeoff.
20 right at Kilo, clear for takeoff. Cherokee 83364. Lights, camera, action, fuel pump on, mixtures full rich. Cleared left, cleared right.
Approaching runway 20 right.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they
Entered
have
runway
the
20 right.
discount
5,300 feet remaining.
I appreciate the heads up, Miss 4Flight. Okay, here we go.
6 number Kilo is clear of 29 going to these hangars.
Look at that thing. She rolling, she rolling, she rolling. Her rotation speed is fine.
6 November Kilo, ramp B Alpha, good day.
Ramp B Alpha, 6 November Kilo, thanks. Have a good night.
Let it do, baby. We up, baby. Best angle of climb.
Alright, we got a good climb out. We're looking good. We're looking good. You know what I didn't do in the run-up area that I needed to do?
Figures to the clear, just 5466 Delta inbound, with here.
DG Town.
66 Delta, roger. You can start your descent. Maintain VFR.
Bowman, I have a Ryzen 9 3900X
When you get lower, I'll give
and
you your
a
head
3070 and 64 gigabytes of RAM. What is up, Sills?
Departure error 736 Alpha, request vectors for the ILS 20 right.
Pretty slick right now.
26 Alpha, finding 140.
140, 26 Alpha.
Joint Tower Cherokee 83364 climbing through 1,500.
836 show or verify your transponder on.
We are showing it on Cherokee 364. Check the client.
8264, have enough. Thank you. Ready to contact connect departure.
Departure Cherokee 364.
13 Whiskey, maintain 3000.
3000, 13 Whiskey.
SoCal approach, good evening, Cherokee 83364, climbing through 1,900 restricted.
82364, SoCal departure, resume navigation, cast altitude restriction.
ONAV and altitudes, Cherokee 364. I mean, that's pretty good. That's not a bad setup, Bean. It's definitely not easy times getting stuff upgraded, but yeah, this sim definitely likes better CPUs. Like it was not happy with my 7600K. It kind of was okay with the 1060, and then finally got the 3070, and it's beautiful now. But yeah, the CPU seemed to really do a lot more than I would have thought. Know what I'm saying?
26 Alpha, fighting 170, intercept localizer.
170 to the localizer, 26 Alpha.
Okay. Now let's go to 22.8. Looks good. So usually, they will send you to Riverside Tower for this transition. I have not gotten that yet on PilotEdge, so we'll see.
We'll see what
happens. But yeah, usually I'll get, we'll connect with Riverside Tower for that transition there. You can see, like, I mean, Flabob is cut out of the Riverside Delta, and they've got, Riverside's got radar, so it's a pretty easy thing for SoCal to just drop them off. Yeah, the heavy, I mean, it still runs choppy for me too. This latest update, although it brought some other bugs, it seems to have really helped with the smoothness of everything. So I've really liked that. I do not have an airplane. No, it is on my list of things to do. But yeah, I just rent at the moment, which is totally fine for the amount that I fly. Hopefully that will change though.
Port 3 Whiskey, SoCal approach Hawthorne, altimeter 2993, and 900 miles to.
Yeah, they're gonna address that. Yeah, the pop in is pretty and I really don't mind the pop in as long as the sim runs smoothly. So I think that they probably use that pop in as a way to make the sim better, like run better. Frame rate wise, it's just super noticeable when you look. You can see all that pop in. I think it's a fair trade-off if that is the case, and I really don't mind it.
66 Delta, kind of Bakersfield Tower.
Going over to Bakersfield Tower, 66 Delta.
Yeah, I agree, and I think mine probably could handle it. I think, but yeah, I'm really fine with it for right now. Yeah, I honestly have not seen or heard much at all about how it performs on Xbox. I haven't seen any videos or reviews or anything, so I have no idea what that experience is like. I hope it's good, but I have not heard anything about it.
CFH Airways took out departure, go to Victorville Airport via Paradise, VOR is filed. Climb maintain 4000, departure frequency 135.4, squawk 2650, hold for release.
But is the detail good?
5 Paradise minus 5, 400132.4 and 2650, hold for Central Energy.
You're back right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like just storage-wise, RAM-wise, it's a lot more limited, but I hope it's great.
Departure,
I hope the experience is great. But I also hope that it's not as great and will force people to still move up to the PC stuff, because I think that's where this hobby is best experienced. If we can open it up to a larger audience and give them a taste, then that is probably sweet. So there's major ridges in the airport on the runway at Flabob, and so we're gonna have to short field this. The actual airport once we get there is terrible. It's really bad. The amazing thing is how they have turned the Xbox controller into a finger twister for the controls. Yeah, there's no easy way to do that. Yeah, the mod community too. I don't know. I mean, this is just really a PC hobby, but yeah. Yeah, dude, I was HOTAS for a long time. There's nothing wrong with that. I've got the SciTech stuff. There's Corona. Don't go there unless you have to. The airport, Corona, the Corona airport. It is Nordo friggin' Century. That's pretty nutty.
I went through this, connect outside tower.
There's Riverside out there, and there's Mount Rubidoux. You can see that little hill there. That's where we're gonna buzz. You did your discovery flight there? That's awesome. Yeah, it is a total mess, especially on the weekends. That looks super cool. Holy crap. Every single house that's just all there. That is insane.
364, connect SoCal approach 135.4.
354, Cherokee 364. SoCal approach, good evening, Cherokee 83364, descending through 2,800. We have a Flabob in sight with the weather.
83364, SoCal approach, roger. I'll hand you over to advise you shortly.
Alright, roger that, Cherokee 364, thanks. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's very plasticky, but it's fine. I mean, I'm not a trying to replicate anything kind of guy. So I have a very, very low standard for flight controls. It takes getting used to because it's not great. Like there's that rubber band mod, which I haven't bothered with, but would probably help things a little bit. It depends. It's better for some planes than others, but overall it's totally fine. Kind of sorted out got a good rhythm with it right now. There's Riverside. And again, we would be on with Riverside Tower right now. And right about here, they let you go. Yeah, it's terrible for stick and rudder stuff. Like, it's not even, like, don't even bother. Radios, navigation, procedures, checklists. Put it on autopilot. Clunk it down, bounce it, land in the, the midfield grass. Who cares? It's like, it doesn't matter. And SoCal Cherokee 364, request frequency change.
83364, radio services are terminated, squawk VFR, fixed exchange bridge.
We'll see you later, Cherokee 364. See ya.
See ya, Bill.
Bye. Okay. Flabob traffic, Cherokee 83364, midfield, left downwind, runway 24, Flabob. So getting configured nice and early here is really smart, because it's a low pattern, and we have this fun little thing here. Yeah, I mean, Redbirds even suck. I mean, the full simulators that all of our jet friends use, are barely rough approximations of airplanes. Like, dude, you get so close to this mountain, it's hilarious. Just shipping it. Yeah, it does look really freaking real. Turn that a little bit early. See our little crease in the runway? There's an example of running out of elevator. And we're there. And we're there. We're there. Yeah, there's like a tinny, hollow feel to it once you get kind of in like that range, but they're totally fine. I should say that it depends on what your purpose is in the sim. If you're just, yeah, we're there. It depends on what you're trying to go for. If you're not a real pilot and you don't really care about the navigation stuff, and you just want something that feels good and can accurately fly you around, maybe spending a little bit more money makes sense. But for me, because I use this primarily as just a tool, I mean, it is fun, obviously, and the streaming is great, but you don't see how the plane feels. So it does, it kind of doesn't really matter what it looks like. The end result is what matters. Yeah. So if you're a power sim user or something, then the honeycomb stuff is probably better for you, better suited for what you're trying to do as a hobbyist. But for me, using this as, obviously the stream is one portion of it, which, like I said, doesn't need to feel any particular way. But also preparing for flights, debriefing flights. Like, it doesn't, I already did the flight for real. So I don't need to spend a bunch of money on dialing in a setup with avionics and yokes and rudder pedals and all that stuff. I am fortunate enough to fly. And I think it's everyone's going to have an opinion on it. People that do fly and also sim, people that don't fly and sim, will have probably a million different opinions on setups and where they want their money spent and all that stuff. I don't find any connection with like muscle memory or any of that crap within the simulator. To me, it is the navigation side of it. So this, all of this stuff is huge. The radio stuff is huge. The going through the process of flying aviation, even if it's really abbreviated, going through like a startup flow, taxiing, doing the run up, just doing that consistently, is what I get the most benefit out of. How I land, I don't care. I honest to God don't care in the sim how I land. It's fun from a video game perspective, just like a high score, trying to, headshot that guy. Like, a kill is a kill, right? But like sometimes it's cool to get a headshot or get, a jumping headshot or whatever. I like to go through the process a little bit more. How, if I take off and take out a couple of taxiway signs or, boom, headshot. If I, clunk it down and float, like it's a sim. It's a home flight sim. Like, it's just like the flight model is just like kind of whatever. Richard, I don't want to just like hit Control E and go take off. I just I use it for what it's good at. That's not to say that you can't have like an immersive experience with peripherals. That's just not how I choose to use this, because those immersive peripherals are still going to be light years away from the real plane. So if you're spending all that time and money and energy to recreate that experience, it's just not gonna get there. The level D sims that Brad and Q and Steve and Uchi and all those guys go to, they're barely approximations of how the plane flies. And when they hammered that home with me, especially Brad during my training, I was like, oh, okay, so how I land this plane has no connection to how I land the plane in real life. I don't think now I am experienced enough of a pilot to be able to like compartmentalize the two, but knowing that whatever you do in the sim, no bearing whatsoever, feel wise, nothing. Is the fuel pump button in the same spot? Yeah, it's pretty close. Are the menus in the G1000 pretty close to where they are in the real plane? Yeah, it's pretty close. Were there any bad habits from simming you had to break? No. And Brad will say that in his experience, I was a major outlier with as a sim user and pilot. Others may disagree, but having had experience going from a real 172 to a real RV10 was like so not a big deal. Didn't even think about it while flying. If that isn't a big deal, then using a yoke versus a 1600 is entirely personal preference. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. I got Flight Sim for Xbox. I'm amazed at how well it runs. I swear it runs like a PC. That's awesome, man. Have a joystick now. Turtle Beach are delivering the yoke. Yeah, that Turtle Beach thing sounds freaking awesome. But yeah, like it's I went into it knowing Cold Nebo that it was different. Like I take that back. It wasn't a habit that I had to break, but I remember my very first landing in the Piper. I came in way too hot because I was used to the speeds that the Arrow flies, and I was in an Archer, so it was like I had to like recalibrate that. But that was after that one landing, and talking to like some other people, it's like, oh, this is nothing like the sim. So I just forgot about that. But yes, I kept my head out of the cockpit. I just focused all of my... This is the key. This is it in a nutshell. Because I practiced all of the radios, navigation, procedures, checklists, airspace, all that stuff. Because I had that down and focused on that in the simulator, when I was in the plane, the only thing that I had to focus on was the actual feel of flying the plane. And that's why I progressed so quickly in terms of the hand flying stuff. Like I soloed at John Wayne, which is kind of relevant because of the radio stuff and procedures and all that, but I soloed at 5.5 hours. It was under 6 hours that I soloed, and it, like fully on the radios, fully just like ready to go after only 5 hours of learning how to land the plane. My solo cross country after 12, again, solely because that entire process was radios, navigation, procedures, and I had that freaking down. The guy was just like, this is freaking insane. Like, I can't, like, what'd you use? And PilotEdge, it is such a huge part of that. So it's freaking awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. And you can really get into trouble by you being too focused on the actual flying part of this. So not to say that you can't, and, but you just have to compartmentalize because it's not like the real plane. So that is, this comes up like a couple times a month, and I love that topic because it's so important to new people coming in that might be experiencing this stuff for the first time and not knowing where to start, because you can kind of get under the impression that you can't, because it is so close, it feels so real, you might get the impression that you can relate this flying to the real world stuff, and it's not the case at all. So in my opinion, sweet. Okay, well, thank you guys so much. Yeah, well, why does that not surprise me that a Chief CFI was not sold